The MacBook Neo came out almost 3 months ago, and by now you've definitely seen people all over social media losing their minds over it, calling it the ultimate Apple budget laptop, the best thing a student could possibly buy. And look, I don't disagree. For $599, it's a genuinely great machine. But here's the thing. The whole budget laptop narrative only really works if you're living in Europe, the US, or Australia. For people in Africa, in parts of Asia that are still developing, or across much of South America, the story is completely different. Trust me, I live in a developing country in Central Asia called Kazakhstan, and calling the MacBook Neo a budget laptop here is a big joke, because it's really not a good deal to buy it from here. And there's a hidden reason that is rarely talked about. So let's talk about the reality of buying a MacBook Neo when you're not living in one of those developed countries. So the other day, I just casually went to the mall, walking around, kind of shopping, and stopped by the store that sells Apple products. I needed to grab an AirTag for my apartment key because honestly, I'm the type of person who loses everything, and I wanted to sort that out before it was too late. Anyway, I got the AirTag, but that's not really what I wanted to talk about. Because while I was there, I figured, why not go check out Apple's new stuff? The M5 MacBooks and obviously the MacBook Neo. I'd watched the reviews, read all the articles, but I'd never actually held one in real life. So I walked up to it and touched it for the first time. And my first thought was, it genuinely feels like a laptop made for kids. My MacBook Air M4 looks way more serious next to it. I always assumed they were around the same size, but they're really not. And then I looked at the price tag and I was shocked. I walked out of that store pretty quickly, but let me tell you the price right now, because once you hear it, you will never call this thing a budget laptop again. Not out here anyway. The MacBook Neo with 250GB and Touch ID in my country costs 399,000 tenge, which converts to almost $820. Just let that sink in. The MSRP is supposed to be $599 for the exact same configuration. And if you want Touch ID and more storage, you're looking at 465,000 tenge. That's basically $1,000 for a MacBook Neo. So why on earth is it this expensive? Think about it. The base model is $599 with 256GB and the $699 with the 512GB. But here we're paying $220 over the base price and the $255 over the 512GB model. For $255, I could literally walk out with the brand new AirPods Pro or an Apple TV. That's insane to me. And honestly, it frustrated me enough that I went deep into researching why this is happening, and I actually found the answer. There's a real reason behind these inflated prices in my country and in other developing countries like mine, and I'm pretty sure most of them are dealing with the same exact problem. And to make this easier to understand, I want you to imagine something. Let's say you live in Central Asia. I don't want to single out any specific country in a bad way, so let's say you're from Kazakhstan, like me. Your name is Aidos. You're a second-year computer science student at university, and your laptop is a 7-year-old HP with 4GB of RAM and an Intel Celeron processor that is barely surviving the basic programs you need for class. You don't have a job, you don't have your own money, so you call your parents, who live about 3,000 kilometers away on the other side of the country, and you explain the situation. And of course, they're going to help you because they're your parents and they love you. They know you don't work, they know you're living in Almaty, the most expensive city in the country, and the only place your university happens to be, and they know your scholarship barely covers groceries, let alone rent, clothes, or anything else a student actually needs. But your parents are just regular workers. Together, they earn around $2,000 a month in a good month. And somehow out of that, they pull together $600 for you. Because you're their kid and you need a laptop. The thing is, with $600, you know you're not getting anything powerful. But you also don't ask for more because you understand what that money cost them. You just hope to find something decent. Maybe a used laptop with at least a solid CPU and the integrated GPU that'll survive the rest of your degree. It's March 4th, 2026. You're scrolling through online marketplaces and secondhand listings, negotiating with sellers, trying to squeeze out every discount you can, but nothing is quite hitting the mark. You're tired, you've been at it for a while, and nothing in your budget feels worth it. So you put it down for the day, open YouTube to zone out, and the Apple events is right there. And then you see it, the MacBook Neo, $599. That's almost exactly what you have. In your currency, that's about 300,000 tenge. And when you look at everything else available in that price range, nothing comes close. That's it. That's your laptop, your first MacBook ever. And since it's Apple, it'll probably outlast your entire degree and then some. You're genuinely excited. You go to pre-order on the Apple Store, go through the whole process, and then you get to the part where you select your country. You look for Kazakhstan, it's not there, because Apple doesn't have a single official store in Kazakhstan. Okay, you think, it's fine, there must be another way. So you start searching and you find local tech resellers who import Apple products. But then you see two things that immediately kill the excitement. First, it won't arrive on March 11th like everywhere else. It's coming in late April. And second, it won't be $599. It's going to cost significantly more. So now you want to know why. You look into it, and once you see the full picture, you realize this laptop was never really an option for you. After doing a fair amount of research, I found three main reasons why it ends up being that expensive. Here's how it all breaks down. The first reason is shipping. Once the MacBook Neo releases on the March 11th for the rest of the world, it still has to physically get to Kazakhstan, and that job falls on tech resellers, business owners who buy in bulk from the US and ship the product over. Shipping that quantity of laptops across the ocean is expensive, but because they are doing it at scale, let's say 7,000 units, the cost per laptop isn't dramatic, maybe around $3 per unit. So instead of $599, Eidos is looking at $602. Still manageable, still close to what he has. But we're just getting started. Now, since they've arrived at Kazakhstan's borders, they have to pass through customs. Governments don't just let large shipments in without checking them, because who knows who this business owner is and what they are bringing in. So the border checks the boxes, and if everything is fine, customs asks the business owner to pay a fee if the product is worth more than 200 euros. In simple terms, that's how the government stabilizes the economy. For a shipment of 7,000 MacBook Neos, the customs fee might run between $500 and $1,000 total, which when split across each unit barely moves the needle, but it still adds something. Then once the shipment clears the border, there's another layer waiting inside the country: taxes. I'm not a business owner, so I won't pretend I know every detail, but officially registered business in Kazakhstan pay around 12% tax on their profit. And that's on the profit, not on what they paid for the product, which means they have to factor that into the pricing, otherwise they're working at a loss. I ran the numbers and it works out to roughly $27 per MacBook Neo. So now Eidos looking at around $630 instead of $599. And keep in mind, the reseller haven't even made a single dollar from themselves yet. So the obvious question is, when do they actually get paid? That brings us to the biggest factor of all, which is margins. These businesses exist to make money. They've shipped thousands of laptops across an ocean, dealt with customs paperwork, paid their taxes, and now they need to actually earn something for all of that. So they add a margin on top. And when you consider that price has already climbed due to everything above, and then you add a margin that, based on my rough calculations, comes out to around $180 per unit, you end up with roughly $211 added on top of the original $599 MSRP. Whether that feels outrageous or understandable depends on your perspective, but either way, the customer is the one absorbing all of it. Now, I want to be upfront. These numbers aren't perfectly accurate. I used a mix of research and AI to get approximate figures, and the real numbers could vary, but the logic is sound and the direction is right. Layer by layer, the price climbs well above what Apple charges in the US. And that finally brings us to the question that what matters most. Is the MacBook Neo actually worth it for a student like Eidos? Let's do the math. Here's the reality. In my country, most students are basically homeless people who just happen to have clean clothes. I know that sounds harsh, but think about it. If a student is living in a different city away from their parents, there's a very good chance they are struggling to eat, let alone considering a MacBook Neo. The only realistic way to get one is if your parents help you out, and even then, that only works if your parents are upper middle class, because the average monthly wage in Kazakhstan is 461,000 tenge, which is literally the exact price of this so-called budget laptops. Like, what are you supposed to do with that salary? If you spend it on the MacBook Neo, when do you eat? And before you bring up scholarship, yes, they exist, but the amount is almost insulting. On average, you get around 45,000 tenge a month, which is roughly $90. You could buy 2 AirTags with that, that's it. So the idea of the MacBook Neo being a student laptop here is a joke. Now, I won't say it's completely impossible to buy a $1,000 product as a student. It is possible, but realistically only through a bank installment plan. And that is a trap you need to think very carefully about before jumping in. So if I were a student in Kazakhstan or honestly in any developing country in a similar situation, I would skip the MacBook Neo and go for a gaming laptop instead. For the same price or even less, you can grab something like the Asus VivoBook 16X with an RTX 3050 and the i5 13th gen. And that CPU will absolutely destroy destroy the A18 Pro the moment any heavy task comes up. Let's not forget, the MacBook Neo is running a CPU that is essentially an iPhone chip. There's no argument to be made on price to performance here. It's not a promotion of any laptop, but I will leave a link for good laptops in that price range. Yes, the MacBook Neo wins on aesthetics, battery life, display quality, and the fact that it runs without a fan. But honestly, when you're a student who needs a laptop that can handle real university projects, how much do aesthetics actually matter? And for the performance you're getting at that price, a little fan noise is not a deal breaker. What is a deal breaker is spending $1,000 on something that, to be completely honest, looks like a toy. It looks like something made for kids, not a serious laptop for university students at that price point. So my recommendation would be either go for a MacBook Air with an M3 or M4 chip, or just get a gaming laptop like an VivoBook and actually get your money's worth. So I really hope this video gave you a clear picture of why calling the MacBook Neo a budget laptop in a developing country is honestly a massive joke. Sure, I can call it cheaper relative to other MacBooks in the same generation. That's pretty much fair. But a budget laptop for students? Absolutely not. And I hope you also picked up something interesting along the way about how business actually works in these markets. Just keep in mind that the numbers I used are approximate, except for MacBook Neo prices. The calculation were meant as rough examples to illustrate the logic, not exact figures. So if you enjoyed the video, first of all, join my Discord server. We talk about tech out there. And thanks for watching. Take care.